What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of This Week in Wrestling's Straight Edge Wrestling podcast. Another week of wrestling. It's not been particularly good, particularly bad. It's been...
Well, no, actually, two shows are really, really good.
Yeah. There was...
Raw was subpar.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been on a rise for about the last month, so it all had to come crashing down eventually, didn't it? We couldn't get 3 out of 3 2 weeks in a row.
So, they did some good bits on Raw. It's just unfortunately overall for the show, it was just felt subpar. It felt like it wasn't keeping me in tune and just wanted to watch.
Yeah, it was a filler episode. There was lots of stuff which just they're sort of rehashing.
But I also got a bit pissed. I think I also got pissed off because I got fed up now for the 15th week in a row now, having we'll do a match or we'll do an interview and someone attacks them. And so let's not have a tag team match for no reason. What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
I remember when people used to do things like that. You'd have a fight, it'd just be a segment, which would then lead to eventually something towards a fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like now everything's got to have a match attached to it on Raw or SmackDown, rather than just letting people not come in contact with one another until their pay-per-view match. They've got to have 15 tag matches before they ever get to their pay-per-view match. It's I've heard like JR comment on this as well. It's like, The Rock and Austin, before WrestleMania, you didn't see them in tag matches every week leading up to it, because otherwise it takes a little bit away from it.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. That's what they keep on doing that now. It's just, okay, we've got these two people in a match for the pay-per-view, so let's book them in 18 tag matches every week leading up to it, which is
because let's be honest, you look at SmackDown right now with Daniel Bryan, AJ, they did that one spot on. They did the thing. Yeah. And then AJ's wrestling someone else and losing.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit old now. So
there was at least one good match on Raw with Aleister Black and Seth Rollins. That was a good match.
Yeah, Aleister Black always does a good match when they allow him to freaking have a match.
Yeah, when they don't just let him
squash someone.
Yeah,
that's my favourite.
Kicking someone.
That and the bowling were probably my two favourite bits. That and also the Iconics, because I actually did quite get into. I just enjoy the Iconics the whole time, if I'm honest.
Yeah, the Iconics are good. Obviously, we're going to talk about that a bit more later, because once again, this Iconics thing and whatever, it all just throws it up in the air because of what happened on SmackDown with the tag titles. But
now in the next week, they'll be getting into a rivalry with Sasha Banks and Bayley due to Nikki and that are now stuck on SmackDown because they can't go to Raw unless they cash in on one. They're one of 4.
That's what I was about to say. You say that now, but they'll probably end up on Raw anyway. That sort of story. Well, I enjoyed the Iconics bit, but it's that sort of story. Just once again, they make everything more confusing than it needs to be. Just do the story. We spoke about this last week. Just do the story with the Iconics and Alexa and Nikki, and then move it along to Sasha and Bayley if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't muddle it all up. It just gets, which is a shame because once again, I mean, we'll get to this, but the tag match on SmackDown I quite enjoyed, and I really
that was probably like the best match on there, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the match. I think the stuff afterwards and before it and on social media with that was really good, but also it just fucks with the Iconics thing, and it's a bit tedious. What else did we have in Raw? We had R-Truth pinning Gronk for the 24/7 title.
Well, that technically wasn't on Raw. That was in his back garden.
Yeah. Well, obviously the reason behind this being that Gronk wanted out of his contract because he's heading back to the NFL, and WWE gave it to him quite happily because reportedly he was not liked even remotely backstage due to the fact that when WrestleMania was recording, he was responsible for delaying the WrestleMania recordings for hours when he wouldn't take that drop off the thing.
So far where Vince had to show him.
And 70-odd-year-old Vince McMahon had to climb up onto the platform and show him how to free fall onto 15 guys, 5 foot. Yeah, he wasn't particularly well received, so people aren't too upset that he's gone. But there we go, he's gone. R-Truth gets his title back.
Yeah, but did you also notice that that one was wasn't like a normal strap that they added together? It was Velcroed.
Yeah, they've changed all their belts now. Pretty much all their belts are now Velcro, which is so bizarre.
Why is it? Because their wrestlers aren't able to do it.
Yeah, you notice that the women's are all Velcro. I think the Universal, it changes because I know Brock had the Velcro every now and then. So I think most of the titles now are Velcro. They changed it because they think it's clunky when they're taking the studs off. Vince changed his mind and thought that the studs make it look a bit clunky.
The studs made it look better than.
Well, if you notice,
here in the ripping.
But if you notice, they've still got the studs on them. So they've kept the studs, like the look of the studs on the outside, but there's no actual studs. They put Velcro on it. So they've made it look as though they've got studs, but they have. I don't know. It's another weird little Vince McMahon-ism that doesn't really change anything.
Vince's hands are getting a bit old now, and the arthritis.
Yeah, he can't.
He can't do it properly, so now everyone's got to look like a moron.
Yeah, he's like, everyone Velcro. If I can't do it, you can't do it. Yeah, we had some other bits on. Obviously, we saw how Nia Jax injured Kairi Sane.
Well, they kind of edit it quite a bit.
Yeah,
is where they got it.
But she got pretty badly banged up. I mean, the scar on her head, the cut on her head, is massive. It's just another one to add to the list of Nia Jax, I suppose.
Yeah, Nia Jax can be a little bit aggressive,
heavy-handed. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. Yep, yeah. Charlotte defeating Asuka amongst all that, and we also had Drew McIntyre and MVP. MVP is now a full-time member of the roster. I think that's a point that should be made. He came back for that.
I already thought he was a full-time member of the roster. I see him every week. I see him every week on the show.
Yeah, but he wasn't. That's the point. This is only this week. As of this week, he's a full-time member of the roster. So he came back for the Rumble, and then he announced his retirement. He announced his retirement after the Rumble. That was it. He had that match with Ray on the Raw after, and that was his retirement match. So they hired him as a producer backstage, and then they just decided to start using him again. So he's no longer a producer. He's now back as a full-time talent, which is I like MVP, but yeah, that was a weird way for him to get back in the fold.
So and then there's also Dominic getting angry at Seth Rollins.
Yes. Yeah, so I hope they're not going to lead to a Dominic Seth Rollins match somewhere. That's not a match I want to see anytime soon, please. I don't know. I literally don't even know what to say about it. I like Rey Mysterio. Do I care about Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins in 2020? No.
Well, the thing is, at the moment, for what he's saying, you like that. So we have no idea what's going on. So what's the point of this video right now?
Yeah.
Apart from Dominic getting angry.
Dominic's just sitting there like for no reason. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get that. But yeah, I mean, that was basically all there was on Raw. Nothing of note.
To say, it had stuff interesting in the show. It's just unfortunately, for some reason this week, it just seems subpar. It just didn't seem to want to.
Just didn't click.
Yeah, keeps you want to in tune the whole show. Yeah.
I'll say next week we should have a highlight for Raw because the Peep Show's back with Edge and Christian.
How's Christian doing?
He's back to host the Peep Show.
The fuck's he doing? Why is Edge not doing his show?
Because Edge is the guest on the Peep Show. So I'm going to guess Christian is going to get fucked up.
They are aware at the moment Raw has about 7 fucking talk show for wrestlers right now, right?
Do you remember, right? There was a period of time where, like, obviously you had Piper's Pit, and then there was a period of time where you had none of them. And then you had Jericho's show, and then you had Carlito's Cabana would come around every now and then, but then they just disappeared for a long time. And now there's so many of the damn shows. constantly. Everyone seems to have one now.
Well, SmackDown's kind of just got Miz's on.
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously, yeah, and when Alexa Bliss was and Nikki Cross were champions, when they sort of jumped across.
Oh no, I
with
forgot Lexi, because technically Lexi and Nikki are technically SmackDown.
Are they? I couldn't even remember that because
Yeah, they are technically SmackDown unless they did the secret trade like they did with AJ and
who knows. But anyway, AEW on Wednesday. I really enjoyed AEW this week.
I really did enjoy it. It's been the best one so far for improving stories, starting stories, or doing character development the whole way through.
Yeah, I agree.
Which made it a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. So we had a show,
and plus Hangman Page came back. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Seeing Hangman and Omega teaming up again was good. That was a really good match.
Well, let's be honest. Kip and Havoc, mate, they make a great tag team. With Penelope Ford in that mix as well. It's just dynamic. Yeah, it was great.
They make a good tag team.
I generally thought they almost might have beaten.
Yeah, I think they made them look very, very good in that match. That's like, when Cody did the business with Darby Allin and made Darby Allin look really good within a single match. I think they done this for Kip and Jimmy Havoc here, where they, not to the same extent, but like they made them look very, very good and like proper contenders in the match.
Yeah, I got to admit, probably one of my favorite moments happened in this match, and that's Penelope Cruz, legs hanging around Hangman Page, his neck, and there's Hangman asking the referee, "What do I do?" And the rest like that, drop her. Okay.
I fucking love Hangman so much. We and obviously FTR is watching from the outside. There was a good little sit down interview with Tony Schiavone and FTR, with Butcher and the Blade sort of running in, and there was a bit where Tony Schiavone says, "Hey, I didn't know that what FTR stood for. I thought it meant fuck the Revival." And
basically after the interview had finished, before they come running down.
Yeah, and they bleeped it out because they didn't want it. They obviously can't use the name the Revival on AEW TV, and that was really good. And
I'll be honest, they didn't do a very good job on the one that I watched. You actually had kind of
the Revival. But they got to try to look to block it out so they don't get sued by WWE.
But I suppose when you've got 5 different copies of your show going, like, you may miss bleeping it somewhere.
Very true. The other thing was that as well. It actually made I can't think of what their names are. Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. It made them you realize they could actually talk. Something which WWE just never let them do.
Well, they explained why they didn't really bother with the Young Bucks. So.
Yeah, I like that. It was actually starting up a story, told me a bit more about FTR.
It's still kind of the same way it was for when they were revived when they came to NXT.
Yeah. I mean,
bring back the old wrestling style.
This is why people.
This is the one tag team that probably Jimmy Cornette should probably actually manage.
That was literally the words that were just about to come out of my mouth. It's the perfect thing. God, if Jim Cornette wasn't such an asshole,
I would then boycott AEW. But
if Cornette wasn't such an asshole and didn't shit over everything AEW did, they could do some really good business with Cornette being the most hated man in the company, coming in with the Revival for a bit. They could have done some very good business there.
They're not called the Revival.
Well, FTR. They could have done some really good business with them, like old school wrestlers coming in. But the thing is, they don't actually need the mouthpiece. They're actually quite good in their own, which we actually got to see for a change. But we had a recap. We had a little thing of Tully Blanchard and Sean Spears where he gave him a glove, which I can only feel was a dig at Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be the revival of his career, so.
Yeah, I feel as though like that black glove thing after Seth just randomly puts on the black glove. To me, it oozes that was a little subtle, not so subtle dig at Seth Rollins. I don't know what they're doing with Sean Spears, but whatever. We had Brian Cage, obviously in another squash, and then Mox came out.
I actually think Dean Moxley came out really well for that promo.
A very, very good, very good promo. I really like the fact that he went to get in the ring, and Taz sort of said to him, like, think before you get in the ring, and he was like, I'm getting in the ring. Yeah, what were you talking about?
I do feel though at the very end of when they ended up thing, either just as Moxley was getting wet, they missed out on the thing of Cage laying him out and just jumping on him.
I'm never a fan of two people that are in a rivalry coming together and then just walking away. Like,
if it's done sort of right, but in the thing of at the moment at this point, and Brian Cage making more of an impact.
Yeah.
And after what Moxley basically just said, and you're being brought as the character to, I'm going to destroy people. Well,
I do agree. Yeah, I really thought they were going to have him sort of just, if nothing else, just sort of lump him one, or try and go for him, and Taz sort of try and stop him or something along those lines.
Well, it's not even that. You can have him where he lays him on the floor, and then he gets ready to leave the ring, and Mox does his normal thing at that point where he sort of sits up laughing.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it was a weird thing that they didn't do it. We had Private Party backstage, and with version 1.0 Matt Hardy.
Well, you never know what Matt Hardy you're going to get there.
I feel like they're going to have. I just feel like at some point in time they're going to have like 4 versions of Matt Hardy on their like leaderboard, on their scoreboard thing, telling you different what different Matt Hardys have wins and losses.
Oh, it'll be the bit when they start finding out that they're putting them against one another.
Don't give them ideas.
That's because they watched it. They watched his YouTube channel.
That's true. Then Matt Hardy leaves and he sees Sammy Guevara in the hallway and he goes, "Oh, we're cool." He's a different Matt Hardy. We then had what was, I swear to God, my highlight of the show when Jericho and Jake Hager Jericho took on Colt Cabana and he came down with Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara singing Judas. I couldn't stop laughing.
Problem is, Sammy does a very good job normally singing it. For some weird reason, when he hurt his leg somehow, even though last week at the very end of the show it worked perfectly fine, he must have hurt his throat at the same time. Because he can sing that song normally quite well.
That made me laugh so much. And the funniest thing about that was Chris Jericho trying his best not to laugh the whole time as he's going, nah, 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 nah. He couldn't remember the word.
That was quite amusing when he forgot the words.
It's so funny. Sammy Guevara is just so good. And that was a very good match, Jericho and Colt Cabana. I really enjoyed it. And I don't normally like Colt Cabana, like his work.
Actually, I'm quite liking Colt Cabana in AEW at the moment.
Yeah,
he's same. Doing good in-ring thing, and I like the promo he did a bit later on.
Yeah, and so they're obviously now going to do something with Dark Order and Brody Lee and Colt Cabana, which is cool.
It seems like Dark Order's doing things with everybody.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, it's good because everyone's getting a story finally. They're actually putting stories behind people.
But it doesn't help when all of a sudden with Dark Order you're going after about 5 different people in one go, and you get about 5 different stories going at the same time. I'm not quite sure what you get.
Dark Order is sort of what the Wyatt family should have been all those years ago. You know, recruiting all these people that are losing and going around picking up all these people. This is basically what the Wyatt family was supposed to be and never really became. So, but then we had the main event. We had Cody Rhodes versus Jungle Boy for the TNT title. I
really enjoyed the match.
I say it's a good match. Yeah, it's a very good match. I love Jungle Boy. There's a pattern to Cody Rhodes matches, which is starting to.
He's trying to do the Ric Flair Triple H thing where he has to bleed.
He has to bleed. That was it. He has to bleed every match.
You know what though? I quite like also in this match though is MJF as well against Jungle Boy.
Yeah. I like JR sitting there like, Jungle Boy, you realize you have a match. This is a TNT title match. What are you doing? Like, go and focus on your opponent, you dumbass. Where's his mouth off to MJF?
The only thing now that worries me about Cody in this TNT title thing is, like any other time you've seen someone defend the belt weekly, after about 4 weeks, if you're lucky, you can get to 2 months. People are bored of seeing it being defended week in, week out.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, all you're going to get out of this is, like, I don't agree. I don't agree with what I'm about to say, but what you're going to get out of this
is to lose a lot of blood.
Yeah, he's going to need blood transfusions every other week, but you're going to get lots of people that are just going to resent Cody going over young talent. Like, people are making the comparisons. They have done for since basically AW started, but people were more and more, they're making the comparisons between Cody and Triple H. You know, that role where he has the best entrance, he has fireworks after he wins his match, he has to bleed, and he goes over the young talents. And I think lots of people are kind of a bit iffy about Cody's role now.
At the end of the day, whether you end up beating one of the younger talents, it don't matter. As long as you can show how good they are in that ring and they can come across, and it shows.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Jungle Boy in the last month has proven how freaking great he is.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I said. Like, I don't agree with what the point, but I know it's being made out there. I mean, JR on Grilling JR this week with Comrade, he was talking about how when people were beating at Double or Nothing, there was lots of, oh, you've buried Brody Lee, oh, you've buried this person, you buried that person. He was like, if you can't lose a match and still look good after it, you shouldn't be in the wrestling business. It was like, that's end of. Losing one match doesn't bury anyone, it doesn't hurt anyone. You should, the whole point, you should be able to lose a match and still look good after it. And that's the point. Is Jungle Boy left that looking very good. Same as like when he beat Darby Allin left that looking very good. But yeah, no, I think you're right. When you see title match every week, you kind of just get a bit, it takes away it being special as well.
Yeah, you get a bit bored.
Yeah.
It just gets a bit like, really, who cares? Unless you do something like the hardcore title, and then it's just amazing.
Whenever, yeah. But yeah, having Cody come out and probably main event quite a lot of shows every week, or probably open most shows, is either going to be the main event or opener of every show. It can
also get boring as well because there's just no story to it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, AEW have a very big thing of very long matches. So you're going to eat up a huge amount of your television time every week with a TNT title match, which we're probably going to guess the winner. You know, every single time we're probably going to guess that it's going to be Cody. You know, they'll some point down the line they'll probably throw a swerve in there and have Cody lose on TV. I think, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. You know,
well, when he goes up against MJF.
Yeah, see, that was funny, wasn't it? MJF shouting at Jungle Boy, "How the hell did you get a title shot before me?"
I eliminated you last week.
But he's like, I'm undefeated. How are you getting a title shot? It's a fair enough point.
I got to admit, I did quite like the announcing team was a bit weird this week though with AEW. They spent most of the time complimenting each other for saying something really good.
Yeah, I don't really know what they do. But it sounds of it, there was lots of editing on the commentary this week. From what I gather from what Tony Khan said to Dave Meltzer, is there seemed to have been lots of post-production on the commentary and bits, which I don't know. But we then had SmackDown, which was a pretty good show.
It was actually really enjoyable.
Yeah. Do you know what was really good about this show? Was I said about this a few weeks ago. There was a thread throughout the show. There was at least one thing, but they've done it with a couple things actually. But there was at least one thing which they showed multiple times throughout the night, which made you want to like continue watching it. Which was the Miz and Morrison and Braun Strowman thing. They showed you it throughout the night, and they led up to. Obviously, we knew Braun Strowman was going to push something over at the end of the show. But I like that. I like the fact that they teased it throughout the night.
They smashed the windscreen on that car.
Yeah, I know. And that was an expensive car that they just went over. I did like that they made a point of just the windscreen though. Don't fuck with the bodywork.
I love that car.
Yeah, that was good. But I said this to you. This is really bizarre. How if you'd have told me Paul Heyman was running one show and Bruce Pritchard was running another show, which show would be better? I would 2 months ago or a year ago, whatever. I'd have said you were stupid to think that a Bruce Pritchard run SmackDown would be the superior show. But I think quite consistently during this lockdown period, it's been the better show.
Yeah, but isn't that because Pritchard normally has other people to write for him, and he can just?
Yeah, he does. He does have he does have the more senior writing staff now, but he's also still in charge. And I know that Vince McMahon has a lot more hands-on with Raw than he does with SmackDown, and that they're trying to use more younger talent on Raw than SmackDown. But you can still do this sort of stuff with younger talent. You know, you can still build stories, but they're just not doing it on Raw. So obviously it started with Matt Hardy cutting.
Yeah, you mean Jeff Hardy, because Matt Hardy's on the show, mate.
The other Hardy, Jeff Hardy cutting a promo about his DUI and things. I really liked this promo. I thought it was really good.
Well, yeah, because like before, when he did it, when he come back from proper screwing up when he was at TNA, where he went out on air, defend the championship against Sting, while a few months later he comes back and he's because he's being honest.
Yeah, I think exactly, because it's based in reality. If it's based in reality, it's always gonna, in my opinion, it's always gonna resonate more. You know, like Eric Bischoff talks about this weekly on 83 Weeks, where he'll say like his MO has always been use reality to make a story. And it tends to work because if people know there's some truth to it, they're going to believe it more and they're going to like it more.
Yep.
And I tell you one thing I don't like. It's nothing about Jeff Hardy or Sheamus. That damn crowd, it's like watching a pantomime. You know, Jeff Hardy saying something and they're like, yay. Sheamus starts, boo, yay.
This is what I said to you last week.
Oh,
they've tried to copy AEW's one. But the difference is with AEW is the heels are being heels in our fans.
Yeah.
The faces are being faces, but yet the fans are also doing their own kind of thing. Let's be honest. There was one point with gambling. There's other bits going on.
Yeah, it was a bit. This was a bit tedious this week. I noticed it more on SmackDown than on Raw. Just how loud they were. Yay! But it was literally like watching a pantomime. That's all I kept thinking. But yeah, we had what else? We have Otis and Baron Corbin. I did like Otis going and finding the crown.
Otis did look quite good with the crown.
That was funny. I did like that. There was they started the Miz and John Morrison's prank thing on Braun Strowman.
Oh, what?
The first one was the protein shake, weren't it?
Yep.
And
then some water and it explodes.
Yeah, it blew up. And then the second one was the slime.
You know what? John Morrison is a freaking star. Because as that happens, they point back to him and it's his face. It's the end of the day on that one where they covered the interview in the slime. And they still, at the end of it, called it a win because Braun got some slime on it.
Slime on him, yeah.
But it's the way those two argue at that point. I told you left, but it was left on stage. I did left. Left. Miz is like that. I'm right, you're right. I'm always right.
That was good. I did like that. I loved them when the panning back to the van. I think that was so good, so funny. And then as you say, that they smashed up the windshield in the next one of Braun's car.
Those arseholes. Thing is, I like the person though who was standing there watching them when they were smashing up. Suddenly changed, technically even race, age, to a different person when Braun came out.
You're not supposed to notice the continuity errors in WWE. I noticed that as well because I was like, I thought
one had black hair, one had sort of like whitish greyish hair.
Yeah,
seemed a lot older.
Yeah, they obviously filmed this in six different times and 6 different angles and stuff, and forgot which extra they used.
Well, you just filmed it. Go back and look at it.
That's too complicated for Kevin Dunn. We had Lacey Evans and Sonya Deville. I like this. I really like this.
I really did enjoy the match.
Same, yeah.
I kind of was a bit upset when Sonya lost, but I like the way they're continuing on out. They've gone back to continuing on the story with Mandy.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that Lacey looked very good in this, and they still maintain Sonya throughout it. I think it was very good.
Sonya managed to fuck her up.
Yeah, like genuinely. Yeah, I like that. So the distraction by Mandy.
I also like the bit where the referee got broken.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was bizarre. That was so like bizarre.
Thing is, I'm looking at it, and you look at it, and you can't tell if was that supposed to happen. Was he supposed to get, or was his legs actually supposed to buckle like that? And because Sonya did kind of get launched in the end on top of her.
Yeah, I mean, like it was clearly scripted, but it was like, God, it seemed so over the top with him screaming on the floor.
At the end of the day, it's like Sonya like that. Seriously, what?
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck?
There is something I did notice because I haven't seen a perfect moonsault like that. God knows how long. No offense, Becky, from Charlotte Flair. I haven't seen her do a perfect moonsault like this. No. And no offense, Lacey Evans one was a lot more difficult to pull off, but that was fucking hit perfectly.
It's called a mirror assault, which I didn't know until last night that was a different thing, but it's called a mirror assault. And that was fucking great. That was what actually made me tweet out once again.
You can't tell me that a certain commentator got it wrong when he called it a springboard moonsault, which I thought it was.
Yeah, they were wrong. It's actually called a mirror assault. You learn something new every day. I had no idea it had a name, a separate name.
I prefer springboard moonsault.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just Lacey Evans' name for it, or if it's like whatever. But yeah, I saw on WWE.com when they were talking about it, they called it the mirror assault, and I thought, and it stuck with me because I'd never heard the name before. But yeah, that's what made me tweet back out the video of Lacey Evans when she's cutting the promo about her dad and things back several years ago now, just because. God, you forget just how good she can be, despite certain people in the dirt sheet world hating her. And then we had another quite a good match. Actually, we had Drew Gulak and AJ Styles. It was
all the stuff with the cuts off from the promo between Daniel and AJ, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, and then we got heel AJ still, and.
Well, that ain't going anywhere anytime soon, is it?
No, they need heels on that show so badly, and and then so they have Drew Gulak come back. It was very good. And Drew Gulak picks up the win in shocks old AJ. I think that's sort of like their little thing that they're going for.
We've got to see though, he might still be a bit rusty from digging himself out of the hole.
He's sort of picking dirt out of everywhere.
Let's be honest, the last pay-per-view he was on, he had a weight dropped on him that if anyone would have realised on that one, he could have just ruled it over his head and carried on. You know?
Yeah, he could just pushed it.
He didn't have to lift it. He
could just push it back.
They roll.
Yeah. You know that. Yeah, you know they're second. And the funny thing is, we still have no idea how he got out of that. But
he rolled it afterwards. You must have realised.
Yeah, he must have realised. Oh, I'm being a fucking idiot here. Just, we had New Day and Shorty G versus Mojo Rawley.
This match,
Cesaro and Shinsuke.
It got built up a bit earlier on in the night though. When why has everyone got to start on Shorty G? What Shorty G deserves to get just because he's that damn freaking good.
I really, really like Chad Gable. I hate the fucking name Shorty G. I really like Gable. And
he accepted Shorty G. He's accepting that he's short.
Do you know what's really weird about this? Like WWE offered Kurt Angle a new contract to come in and manage Matt Riddle. Motherfucking Chad Gable is right there.
I'm watching this and I'm like, why did they let Kurt Angle go and not keep him to manage?
That's literally like they offered him a new contract to manage Matt Riddle. It's like, God damn it, Gable is there. Gable is like the perfect match for Kurt Angle.
At the end of the day, they're hot on him because of how, even in the matches, how much it lets him do. Let's be honest, he gets jumped by 3 guys.
God damn it! Like I was when I read that he turned down the contract, he didn't really care to come back as Riddle's manager. I'm like, he's been under contract all this time. Why have they not had him with Gable? It's so weird.
Maybe he would have cared if it was for Shorty G, who had the
Yeah.
same kind of background, just not the gold medal.
Yeah, like, but because by all accounts, I mean, obviously they got on really well and stuff. But god damn it, yeah, that was a weird one.
What, the one where they also ruined the storyline of Kurt Angle's bastard son? Yeah.
Let's not even go back to that.
There are two that we can pick. The one who also has the same style of wrestling as well, and the same kind of pedigree background.
You couldn't. Like I say, you couldn't write it, but obviously you clearly can because WWE managed it. It's so ridiculous.
Jason Jordan also got the height gene from his mum. You didn't get that from Kurt Angle as well.
No, so ridiculous. We had the WWE Women's Tag Team Title match: Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. Obviously, Bayley and Sasha Banks picked up the win. This is a very good match.
It was a great match. It's one of the best matches on the card.
Yeah, very good match. And
unfortunately, though, what the fuck does it mean for the Iconics now?
It just throws it all up in the air. Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out on Raw. I'll wait until then, but I still am not a fan of how much they've fucked with this.
Yeah. Because at the same time as well, I kind of get a feeling you're either going to get a heel turn from either Alexa or Nikki.
Yeah, probably.
I can kind of see that. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing Nikki Cross go a bit evil again.
Yeah, we've seen Alexa do that many times, so yeah, I wouldn't.
Even though Nikki Cross was pretty much called the Tasmanian Devil when she goes by the commentating team.
Here's a nice story about Nikki Cross from this week. So obviously the talent, the Performance Center talent, which has been having to stand throughout 10 hours worth of tapings and get fed like little lunchbox sandwiches. Nikki Cross actually went and bought all of them pizza this week as a thank you after the show.
She's got way too much freaking money, ain't she?
Which is insane that the $1 billion company didn't do that, but she went and done it, you know. But yeah,
she's probably invoicing WWE.
yeah. These are my expenses, thank you. But yeah, so I mean, they're building very slowly. They're still building towards that Sasha split off, where even the official photos of Sasha and Bayley with the tag team titles, Sasha's like Bayley's all happy and Sasha's dead straight, stern faced, and like a bit pissed off, and they teased it throughout the match.
Well, yeah, but there's one bit where she gets pissed off, where Bayley was actually in the right, but where she had the lock in, and Bayley throws her out. Well, she was right, even commentator. The referee was getting ready to count to 5.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm loving that slow build, which makes me even more pissed off with the fact that they've had to now put them in the midst of the Iconics thing and stuff when they've been building.
The bet? They're going to lose it straight away to maybe like the Iconics.
Yeah.
And that's where it all kicks off because now Sasha Banks has no gold.
Yeah, makes sense. But that was it, really. That was SmackDown. SmackDown was a very good show, actually.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. Raw let us down this week. Obviously, we had little tiny bits of news this week. The Drake Maverick thing has probably been the most dominating story of the week in the wrestling world because it's just bizarre.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't see the point in sacking him and then from your main technically your main roster, because although it's not the main roster, it is the main roster.
I think people were very people basically had the same thought, I think, which was we're very happy for Drake Maverick, but this was a really shitty thing to do, especially to sort of position it as well because he actually works hard, unlike all those other losers that we fired. You know, that was really what Triple H was saying, and it's like
you can't say that about ECW. He was never given a chance to get in the fucking wrestling room.
EC3,
that's the one.
But yeah, it's like he sort of positioned that, you know, Zack Ryder and all them were just losers and layabouts, and then what makes it even worse, we don't know the figures, but we do know that they offered lots of the talent this week new contracts. Lots of talent they let go new contracts, and the reason being was because TNA has been advertising lots of them. That they're going to be Impact, sorry, is going to be using lots of the talent that were released in their upcoming shows. So WWE reached out with new contracts on a significant pay drop. So basically,
we definitely know one person who wouldn't take that contract. Was EC3. He made that perfectly clear on social media.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got people like Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick's just happy sort of to be there, but yeah, he's gonna take a significant pay cut. And by the sounds of it, they've reached back out to Zack Ryder and people like that, but there's no word as to if anyone have accepted. It's kind of a slap in the face, right? Like a massive slap in the face.
What did they think these guys were going to do? Just stay now unemployed for the rest of their career?
Yeah. Or? Yeah, exactly. Like the first person that starts advertising them, they're like, "Oh, why are they advertising them?" Well, motherfucker, because they need money because you fired them.
And because they can actually draw people in.
yeah, because you got rid of a lot of people who are actually very, very good. You got rid of Rusev and Ryder and Hawkins, those sort of people who are very, very good. Just ludicrous.
Yeah, well, I kind of think Rusev was going anyway, so
Yeah, he was going anyway. But
Rusev and the Revivals were never going to be the ones you.
Yeah, they were never re-signing. But you had people there who would have stayed there for life and been very loyal to you. People like Zack Ryder, who got himself over and was a huge success at one point. But
I'll give Zack Ryder the credit. He's the main one who never shunned for doing it.
Absolutely, yeah. He kept quiet about the whole thing, really, which is good. It was good to him.
It's not that he actually mentioned it. He's like that. Well,
yeah,
business at the end of the day.
Yeah, he owes no. Yeah, he said something like, they let me fulfill my childhood dream. I won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, and I'll always be thankful to them for that.
He's done that. He won tag team title.
Yeah. It's just really bizarre that they use this as a storyline to shit on people who they let go. Really bizarre, but that's WWE, I think, in a nutshell. But anyway, that's it for this week in wrestling. Head over and follow us on Twitter at SCW_podcast, as you see up above. Like and subscribe to this video, and we will see you next time with another video. We are out.